Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today we are going to be reviewing the Arrtx professional colored pencils. These were purchased from Amazon UK. I have contacted Arrtx through my contacts and asked them about this set. It is not available in the US. It is available, like I said, through Amazon UK. This product, I don't know if it will be coming to the US. When I asked the question, she wasn't sure, and she hasn't gotten back to me on whether or not they will be coming to the US. This is a different grade of pencil than the pencils we're used to here in the US. The Arrtx that we get here in the US are a little bit shorter, just a little tiny bit, um, which I will show you. And they are a softer pencil than these ones here. This is a new set, new numbers, new colors, and that sort of thing. They are not the same as the original Arrtx that we uh, have grown accustomed to and love. The box itself is completely different. However, it is still one of those boxes that is really pretty and great to look at. However, the usefulness of it is to be desired, lacking to be desired. It does have our cute little bunny, our Arrtx bunny, as well as the little girl. Wonderful set of sunflower up there. Now, it opens up like a book, but as you can see, when you open it, let's take that out of there, the pencils flop around. They're all floppy floppy. And even when you've got it down like this, you can't see what pencils are back here, and you have to just fiddle around. So I'm definitely going to be putting these into a um, pencil bag, a pencil case, that's the word, a pencil case, in order to get to the pencils themselves. I have swatched these, and we will take a look at the swatch. When we come back from the swatch, I will go over the colors with you, go over the differences between this pencil and the original Arrtx pencils that we are used to, and the differences between them. And then we will do our testing and that sort of thing. And yeah, so stay tuned. Grab your cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and yeah, it's swatched time. Okay, then that is it for our swatch, and of course that wasn't so bad. I did speed that up quite a bit. I do not swatch that quickly. I wish I did. It would make doing this so much easier. Um, but as you can see, we have a good arrangement of colors. There are some areas that I find are very lacking. I'm going to zoom you in so you can take a look at the swatch with me here and see what I mean by colors in lacking. So we do have a really good selection of yellows, fairly good selection of oranges for a 72 set. I would prefer more oranges than that, but for a 72 set, it's pretty good. We go into our reds, and we have a really good selection of reds, and into our peach tones and our brown pink tones. Then we have our pinks, and quite literally, we have three pinks that I would classify as pink. And then we go into our purples, so our red violets, and then our violets. Now, there's not enough of the deeper purples, in my opinion. And of course, with our blues, we have a lot of blues, and a lot of them are very close to the same sort of color. And I find that there's some of them that they could have done without and put in more purples instead. Same with the greens. There's some of them that are really close to the same color that they could have easily done without and gone with more pinks. So that's, of course, a personal opinion. I do prefer more of those purples and pinks than what they have here. Again, this is only a 72 set, so it's quite a small set of pencils. Now, as you can see on my chart here, we do have names and numbers, which is available on the chart that comes with the pencils. However, the names are not on the pencils. So as I'll pull out a pencil here and I'll show you. They do have the Made in China, the Arrtx. They've got a different symbol here than is on our other pencils. I'm going to grab the black because, the yellow is way too close to the same color and it's making it difficult to see. So it's got a different marking here than on the Arrtx that we're used to. So that we've got little stars all the way up the barrel. This just has one little X and that. And then we've got our color number. Now, on the back side here where we typically would have the color name down here, there's no color name. There's just the color number. It is a much larger number than is on the other Arrtx pencils that we have. Now, I do feel that the core in the Arrtx pencils that we have already purchased long ago, that we all love, is much thicker than the core in the new Arrtx. These did come from Amazon UK, so they were sent all the way from the UK. So they did take much longer to get to me here in the US. So keeping that in mind, if you do decide to order these, they will take you approximately 2 weeks to get them. They do come in Amazon packaging. So they did come in a sleeve box uh, over top of this box. So it is going to get jostled around quite a bit. I was really lucky and did not receive any broken tips or anything like that in the box. So I was quite surprised with that. And yeah, so that was impressive. But we're going to do our testing on the swatch chart here. And we'll test our yellow, red, and blue. So we're going to work with lemon yellow, which is number 1006. Where is my lemon yellow? Put it back in here somewhere and I can't find it now. There it is. So 1006. Actually, let's use 1009, which is bright yellow. Lemon yellow has a bit of a green undertone, so we won't use that one. Then we'll use Camellia Red, which is 2050. And now you see the problem with this box. Trying to find those colors is a little bit more difficult. That's 2050, and then we're going to use Azure Lake, I think, for our blue. I think we'll use this one here, which is 4035, which is light indigo blue. Those are the ones we're going to use. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way so we have room to work and hit the camera in the process. Just lots of fun going on here. We'll put this over here. We've got our water brush as well as our blender. Now, the difference between the two different sets is the differences in the swatch chart. So as you can see, there's a lot more pink availability in the 126 Arrtx, of course, compared to the 72. However, in the 72 Arrtx, there's still a larger variety of those softer pinks available in the Arrtx 72 set that we can get here in the US. They still have way too many blues, I feel, in comparison to our blues, our purples, and our pinks, but it does have a really good selection of purples as well. I feel the 126 set covers you way more for better selection of pencils. Now, when I talked to Arrtx about the pencils and about whether or not they were going to match up and that sort of thing, they let me know that the reason why these were much cheaper is because the process that they use to create the pencils is a cheaper process. Now, she did say that the inside of the pencils was no different than the other pencils. It was just the process itself was different, which made it a cheaper pencil. She does feel that these are more of a student grade than an artist grade. They do sharpen quite nicely with a hand held sharpener. I'm just using the Mr. Pen sharpener here. I'm going to get these sharp. I have found that they do work a lot better after they have been sharpened. I did find that some of the pencils while I was swatching do have a bit of a coating on them and did make them a lot rougher to use. So we're going to put down our yellow here. And once again, we're going to fill the area just the same way we do when we are coloring. The reason why I do the water test is to ensure that the embellishments that I like to put on my pictures, such as the Wink of Stella, the stickles, the gel pen, that sort of thing, anything that is water-based, if your pencils are not water resistant, um, putting a water-based product over top or doing a watercolor background can move your pencils and cause you issues with the color that you have going down or with the clearness of like the Wink of Stella, that sort of thing. It will actually change the color of it. So having knowledge of whether or not these are water resistant is a big deal if you do use water products with your colored pencils. So that is why I test this, because I do use a lot of water-based products with my colored pencils. All right, so now we're just getting that blue down. And once we get the blue down, we will test for our water resistance, and then we will do our smudge test. The reason for the smudge test is pretty much the same thing, is to ensure that my hand and the chemical composition of my hand isn't going to move the pencils. If it does move the pencils, I have to take further steps to ensure that my hand isn't going to drag that color around the page as I'm coloring. All right, dust that off. Make sure there's no remnants of color of the lead on the page. I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to brush over the yellow, and it did move a little bit. Now the ink of the printer ink is also moving, so it is giving it a bit of a black as well, but the red is definitely moving there. And so is the blue. So it is definitely not water resistant. So basically what I need to do and what I know I need to do now with the fact that they aren't water resistant is I need to seal them in with the Caran d'Ache blender before I use any water-based products over top of them. So with the fact that they are not water resistant, that tells me that they are probably not smudge resistant either. Um, the chemicals in my hands and in my skin do seem to move colored pencils that aren't water resistant, and I'm not sure if it's just the oils in my skin breaking down the pigment and moving it around and picking it up or what. But I do know that if they're not water resistant, sometimes they're definitely not smudge resistant. However, I have had pencils that are water resistant and my hands still move them around. So this is always a great test to do, just to make sure that you're not going to move that pencil around with your hands as you're coloring. I do prefer to finish a page before I use a blender on it, just in case I want to add other colors. So knowing whether or not I'm going to move this color uh, does help me in knowing whether or not I need to keep the page turning, keep my hands off the page, or wear a glove. The larger pages, I usually wear a glove because I can't turn them as well on my desk. So that is one of the things that is always good for me to know. All right, I'm going to dust that off. And then we're going to take our finger and we're just going to smudge it. And that definitely moved. I'm going to take a different finger and smudge it, and that also moved. And then we're going to do the same thing with the blue. And as you can see, that also moved. So definitely not water resistant, not smudge resistant. Now for our three color blend, I'm going to grab the pencil box. Where is it? And we're going to pull out some pinks. Now there isn't a good amount of, well, I guess I could do that. Yeah, let's use rose pink, flamingo pink, and strawberry pink. So this one should be strawberry. And this one, and this one. Now there's not a really light pink in there, so this is going to be three fairly dark pinks all together. So we've got rose pink, flamingo pink, and strawberry pink. We're going to start off with our strawberry pink, and I'm going to give it a bit of a sharpen. Just to remove that coating. And we're going to lay this down and we're going to see if we can blend these three pinks together to create that gradient blend. Now, like I said, when I was swatching them, I did find a lot of them had a bit of a scratchy texture to them. Now that I've sharpened them, I can definitely feel the difference between the original and these. These are not as smooth lay down. They do seem, the lead itself seems a lot harder and doesn't have as much pigmentation to it as the others. So I don't know, from what I understand from what I was told, they didn't change the pigmentation of the pencils. They are using the same pigments and the same wax as they originally have. but the process is different. So I don't know if that process has hardened that wax to a point where the color is not coming off as easily, or if the pigmentation itself is slightly different, which can happen with any color pencil set, um, depending upon what batch it's out of. A different batch can have a slightly different level of pigment in it. All right, now we're using 2009, which is Flamingo. So the first one I used was 2010, and that is strawberry. So this is Flamingo pink, and I am finding little bits that are not quite putting out any color. So I'm not sure if all of the wax and pigment was melted together well enough or mixed together well enough. I do have to find the side of the pencil that is putting out color. So as you can see here, it's not putting out as much color on one side as it is the other, which is kind of not not the best situation. That can be frustrating, especially when you're coloring and going over something that's not very toothy. You can end up, removing the tooth of the page before you get any color down. So you have to be a little careful of that. Like I said, you may be able to sharpen that out. I'm not sure. I will have to give that a try here in a little bit, see if I can sharpen that out. And now I am using the rose pink, which is number 2008. Now they are very close to each other in color, so I'm not getting a lot of gradients. And I am finding that even in this one, there's a few little areas where the color just isn't coming off the lid. So you have to be a little careful with that. So I'm going back to 2010, bringing those colors together on the edge there. 2009. They're not blending together very nicely. You're getting a hard line. And then 2008. And I'm finding that the little bits of wax in there that it's giving a bit of a stutter to the pencil, where it doesn't glide as smoothly as I would prefer. I have to keep turning it in order to get past that hard little bit of wax. So it's definitely not the best blend on the gradients. So even with the only 3 pinks that are in there, it's not a really good gradient blend. All right, so let's do our rainbow blend here. Now we're going to do a rainbow blend, which is going to tell us whether or not these pencils will blend together to create other colors. So we're going to start off with our red. We're going to put down a good layer of the red, making sure that we put down a bit of a tail for the yellow to blend into. Putting down the red first, you're going to get a red-orange, so a deeper orange. If you put down the yellow first, you're going to get a brighter orange. So we're going to do the red-orange first, and then we'll bring the red into the yellow to create that yellow-orange. All right, now we're going to put down the yellow. We're going to start back here because we don't want red in the blue. We want it to be green, not purple. And then our yellow area. And this is where we're going to bring the red into the yellow, creating that yellow orange, hopefully. So as you can see here, we're creating that red orange. So it is a darker orange in this area. Once I added that red or yellow. I'm going to drag you down just a little bit further so you can actually see what's going on. Now we're going to take our red and we're going to go into the yellow. And what this should do, hopefully, is create that yellow orange. And then we're going to come back with the yellow and we're going to blend it in. So as you can see, we definitely have a creation of orange there. Now we're going to take our blue and we're going to start back here. And we're going to put down our blue and then we're going to bring our blue into the yellow to create green. And then we'll bring our yellow into the blue to create the dark green. So when you put your darker colors down first, you're going to get a darker color in your blend. So now we're going into the yellow, and as you can see, it's giving us a lighter green. The darker the blue, the darker the green is going to be. And then we're going to come back with the yellow, and we're going to lighten that up just that touch more. And then we're going to go into the blue and create that dark green. So it definitely does create the light green and dark green, and it does create the red orange and the yellow orange. So it does do that rainbow blend quite well. Now we're going to take our red, our strawberry, and those ones. We're going to take these three and we're going to do our blender test. The blender test is to verify whether or not the blender can move these pencils to these colors together to remove the edge blend, as well as remove any white spot left on the page and brighten the colors. Now, you do have to make sure that there is enough pigment on the page for the blender to move. Otherwise, all it's going to do is just lift up the pigment, and that is not at no fault whatsoever of the pencil. It is definitely user error at that point. Because you just need to make sure that you have plenty of pigment on the page for the pencil blender to move around. All right, now that was 2050, which is the red, and now we're going to go in with the deep pink, which is the strawberry pink. Again, make sure that you have plenty of pencil on the page for the blender to grab hold of. And as you can see, there's still white spot there for it to fill. And then we're using 2009. All right. Now, as you can see, those pinks are really close together in color, so it may not, it will probably blend quite well because you don't really see a difference between the colors. Now I've got my Caran d'Ache blender here, and we're going to start on the light end, and we're going to go in the opposite direction of the color that we laid down, and we're going to blend them together. And we're going to bring that all the way to the end, bringing all those colors into one area. Filling in the white spot as well, which worked very well. Now we're going to go this way and just fill it in just that much more. So it worked very, very nicely with the blender. Now we're also going to test whether or not it will blend with the white pencil that comes in your pencil selection. Now white pencils do tend to muddy the water, so to speak. So if you use a white pencil on top of your colors, if the pencil is as opaque, so if it has actual white color, it will make your colors less colorful. It will wash it out just a little bit. So a red will be more pinky, a pink will be lighter, and that sort of thing. Basically, it just knocks down the color a little bit so that it shows a little bit lighter and murkier. So if you want that kind of misty look on your pencils, white is a great thing to use for that. All right, and that's number 10 and 2009. I do have to leave a little bit more tooth, otherwise the white won't actually blend the pencils. It will just start lifting things up. All right, so of course doing the same thing, going in the opposite direction. So up and down instead of back and forth. Putting some pressure on the pencil, getting it to fill in that tooth. Basically what we're doing is we're burnishing the color into the page. Okay, and as you can see, it definitely takes the color out of that. I'm going to go back and forth as well, just to fill it all in. Definitely took the white spot out. However, it did lessen the color. So taking a look at the difference between this one and this one, you can see the brightness of the red, where this you can see that it's pinked down quite a bit. So the white is definitely opaque enough to take the color down to a lesser color. Now I'm going to grab some gel pens here and we're going to fill in our stars. We're going to use some silver, no, we're going to use some gold and some black. Let's do that. Now the cost of these pencils coming from Amazon UK was $42.14. So 42.14, and that's coming from Amazon UK. Now I do believe they're about $2 cheaper or £2 cheaper now than, or £2 more now than when I bought them. So they'd probably be a little bit more, which does work out to be approximately 59 cents per pencil. So on Amazon US, the 72 set of the Arrtx colored pencils that we're used to, which is a softer pencil, is $25. So in comparison to the Arrtx that we're used to, the cost is much, much more, which I do find a negative because of the fact that they are a harder pencil. They are a little bit harder to blend when doing a three-color blend and creating that gradients, especially with pinks. And you could do it definitely with blues because there's a lot of different blues in the set. But when you're doing a three-color blend, you have and you have a limited amount of that color, you do want to be able to blend that light, medium, and dark. And I don't find that that's something that is available in this set. Now, like I said, the pencils are a little bit harder. They don't lay down as well on the color. So I think the 59 cents per pencil is a negative. So we're going to actually only give it 2 stars for the cost per pencil, because I think they're a little overpriced for what they are. And like I said, this is from Amazon UK. If, when, and if they come to the US, they may be less expensive than that. Um, the one of the things that you have to pay for from Amazon UK, of course, is the shipping. And I think 11 pounds of that is um, $11 of that is actual shipping cost. So even at $32 or $36 or whatever they are now, in comparison to Amazon US, which is $25 with free shipping, um, you're still going to be paying more for a pencil that I feel is a little bit inferior to what we already have available. The color selection also, like I said, I feel that it is lacking a lot in the purples and the pinks. So I am only going to give it 2.5 stars for the color selection. It does have plenty of greens, plenty of yellows, plenty of blues, and a really good selection of red. However, with its lacking in the pinks and the purples area, I do find that it does not live up to its full potential. All right. Now, color saturation. As I was showing you on that color blend, there are some colors that are um, not as pigmented as they should be, that I can feel the different little clumps of wax in them. That is not allowing that pigment to come through. Either it's not mixed correctly, or the wax is too hard or hardened in the process that they have chosen to use for creating the cores. With that being said, they are pigmented enough to cover an area without having to put down 6 billion layers. So again, I think this one with the saturation is about a 3 star, because it does lay down quite nicely when they lay down. However, there are bits in the pencils that are causing them to stop allowing that lay down. And like I said, that could just be in the process that they have chosen to create the pencils with, creating a less expensive pencil, um, and lowering the grade of the pigment and the wax, degrading it sort of. I feel that if it's the same pigmentation as the previous set, then the pigmentation and the wax has been degraded by the process that they have chosen to do. Like I said, they chose this process because it is less expensive. But when I talked to her, she did state that she feels that these are more of a student grade compared to the pencils that we are used to, which are more of an artist grade. Currently, they are not open stock, so we get 5 black stars across the board for that. So I feel that they have 7.5 gold stars out of 20. Yeah, out of 20. So it's not even a 50-50 rating on these pencils. And at 59 cents a pencil, I want at least a 50-50 rating. Like I said, if they come to the US, they will probably be less expensive than that because of the shipping and things like that. The hardness of these pencils and the fact that they are hexagonal instead of round does give them a little bit more versatility for people that have different disabilities with their hands. Now, the hardness for these pencils also makes it very, very good because of the fact that you can sharpen this into a very sharp point and maintain that point um, through your coloring. So in that aspect, I do give them a couple of extra points for that because sometimes you want to be able to get into a tight area. And with a softer pencil like this one, you're not going to get much more of a sharper point than that that is going to maintain that point. With these pencils, you are going to be able to get that really, really sharp point, and you're going to be able to maintain that point while you're getting into those really tiny detail areas. So I think they're worth taking a look at for um, a supplement to the set that you already have. So if you already have the Arrtx that are available in the United States, well, they're available worldwide. They go from a 72 set to a 126 set, I think. Maybe it's 123. It might be a 124 set. I'm not positive. I think it's 126. Um, but if you have the 126 set, these will supplement your 126 set to cover those tighter, smaller areas where you need that harder pencil. Now, would I purchase these again by themselves by having to buy them from somewhere else other than in the US? No, I would not. Would I suggest that you purchase them from Amazon UK? If you really want them, absolutely. However, they would not be something that I would purchase again from Amazon UK. I did hear from the Arrtx girl that they may be coming out with a larger set of these ones. So I'm hoping that when they do come out with a larger set that they'll have them available in the US because I wouldn't mind a larger set of these just so that I can combine them with the softer Arrtx and have that versatility. However, the 72 set does work just as well because, like I said, you're going to be using I will be using the 72 set as a supplementary um, pencil to make sure that I can get into those tighter little areas without completely going over the lines and everything else because I can't get a good point. The excuse me, the pigmentation of them does not do well for covering large areas. I think you'll find that the little bits inside the pigment may frustrate you if you're doing a large area and keep on coming across those parts that aren't laying down any pigment. Um, I have not colored a full page with these at all, so I don't know if that's just something that I need to sharpen past or if it's something that's all the way through the core. Again, the pencils are a little different. As you can probably see here, they are, let's put these equal. They are a little bit longer. I've sharpened this one, and this one I have not sharpened. So the pencils themselves are actually longer than the previous Arrtx that are available in the US. These are a student grade, these are an artist grade. So I do feel that this is a lower grade than this grade here, even though the new ones do say that they're professional grade. They have no light fast rating. They are not open stock, just like any other Arrtx product. Um, let's review our information here off of our chart. They did fail our water resistance test. They did fail our smudge test. Um, this I'm going to give it half points. It did cover and it did blend the edges together. However, there's not really a gradient blend there. It did pass this test, it passed this test, and it passed this test. So all in all, we've got 3.5 points out of 6. So, I think that it did over half. So I think all in all, I think it did quite well. Um, would I suggest that you buy these if you are not in Europe or able to get them from Europe without having to pay through the nose for them? No, I would not. I would suggest keeping an eye on Amazon US if you are in the US and purchasing them when they became available here. If you are in the UK or elsewhere, and these are different things that don't come available in your area very often, definitely purchase them from Amazon UK. Now, there is another YouTuber out there that I have noticed that has purchased this set of pencils and is in the UK. So, I have not watched her review. I don't like to watch somebody's review when I am going to do a review of something. I noticed it after I had purchased the pencils. A viewer actually left a message on my comments that there was a new set of Arrtx pencils out there and what I should be looking for. So when I contacted my Arrtx person, she let me know that yes, there is one available in Europe that is different than the ones that we have here in the US. And she pointed me in the direction of Amazon UK. Now, again, she wouldn't give me a definitive answer of if these are going to become available in the US or when these are going to become available in the US. So if you don't see them come up on the US Amazon site or on the Arrtx site, they may not come available for the US. There are certain companies that do create um, different products for um, different countries. So this set may have been created just for the European countries. I am not sure. She would not give me an answer on that. But like I said, the difference between the sets is quite frankly, of course, colors. I don't have my 72 set of the old brands swatch chart here. But if you look at your colors here, for example, lemon yellow is 1006 here. I guess it helps if I actually zoom you in so you can see what I'm pointing to. Is 1006 here, and on this one here, lemon yellow is 1010. So they are different numbers. Crimson red is not even on here. Let's see, what other colors do they have on here? The color names are just not even close to matching up. So you're not going to have the same color name and number on the 72 professional colored Arrtx and the Arrtx that we're used to. So those are differences that are on both sets. Like I said, the Arrtx 126 does, of course, have more colors. The Arrtx 72 Pro Color does seem to have a couple of areas where they're lacking, such as your skin tones, your pinks, as well as your purples. I think pretty much everything from here over to here gives us a little bit of lack. They do have, of course, too many blues for a 72 set, too many greens for a 72 set, but that's normal for any 72 set. Most 72 sets do have an overabundance of blues and greens. Actually, most sets of colored pencils have an overabundance of blues and greens. But all in all, I think they're a really good, um, hard, not hard, but a solid core where you can sharpen it into a very fine point and get into those tight little details. Um, Another thing that I have found with these, like I said, when I was swatching, they seemed really scratchy and really lacking in the pigmentation. After sharpening them to do the test, I did find that they laid down a lot smoother than they did in the swatching of the pencils. So definitely sharpen your pencils with this set. The reason why I do my swatching without sharpening is so that I can verify whether or not they are good to go right out of the box. Because a lot of companies use that um, as a selling point to their pencils. Now, like I said, the selling point for me is if they are really good right out of the box, that they are going to actually be good right out of the box. These are not really good right out of the box. Make sure you sharpen them. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I think that they're a good set of pencils. They work quite well. However, I would not give up my Arrtx pencils that are available here in the US for these. They do supplement that set of pencils quite nicely to um, have that harder pencil available, just like the Verathins supplement the Prismacolors really nicely. The Arrtx here in the US are actually cheaper than purchasing them over from Amazon UK. So if I had to make a choice between buying this set of 72 from Amazon UK and this set of 72 on the US site that is a softer core, I would choose the 72 available on the US site. Just a personal preference. Again, like I said, Zoe has a video up as well reviewing these pencils. Of course, it's always great to get different opinions from different people. So take a look at her review and see what she says about them as well. Like I said, they are available in the UK, which makes them more readily available to her. So I think she's had her review out for a little while now. I think about a week. But I will link her video below the video. I will link the Arrtx swatch chart as well as the link to the Amazon UK for this set of pencils as well. If you do choose to purchase them, make sure that you sharpen them beforehand. Make sure that you don't use your water-based products over top of them without sealing them in first. And if you smudge pencils with your hands, make sure you wear a glove. All right, guys, with that, I think they are a fairly good set of pencils. I think they're a little overpriced for what they are. And, I would not purchase them again from Amazon UK. If they do become available in the US with the full 126 set for a comparable price or a lesser price than the other ones that are available, I may consider it. But at this point, I think this set will become a supplementary set to the Arrtx that I already have, giving me that balance of hard and soft leads. All right, guys, with that, I hope this has been educational, entertaining, or at least helpful in your purchasing decisions. Of course, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. And of course, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye bye for now.